welcome to this week's video. My name's Lynda Gaiao. Today we're going to be looking at trait 56, stimulation. There is this natural curiosity that comes with this trait and this kind of seeking of experiences and ideas and stimulation, and then there is this gathering of all of the experiences and then translating that into some type of storytelling, being able to weave a really colorful tapestry linking all these different selective pieces of the past experience, kind of mingled in with these emotional tones, and selectively and subjectively then sharing in a stimulating way the story. And the story is designed to help you to be inspired or stimulated by a particular idea, or help you to understand or learn a little bit more about a concept. And at the end of it, you may say, well, based on what I've heard here, what I've learned, I either believe or I don't believe. When the 56 is around, there can be this pressure for stimulation, to be stimulated and to tell stimulating stories. And when we get pressure, the mind always has this way of using that pressure as a way to try and get us to take action. So the stimulation or the ideas are not really here for us, it's not a solution, and it's definitely not something for us to take action on. It's meant to be a journey of really navigating through these past experiences and then hearing this really visual storytelling, and then learning a lesson, learning something, being inspired by it, but not taking action from it. With all things in human design or BG5, any action comes first through our decision-making strategy. And once we know something's correct, then we take action. So see this time that we're going to be sitting in the energy of 56 as a time for stimulation and for your personal stimulation and to stimulate others, rather than needing to take action from a specific place. Without trait 11 on the other side, there can be this kind of anxiousness or this feeling that you're never going to have something new. There's going to be no new ideas and no new stimulation coming through. And that means that you can't tell your stories, because this trait is really like the casual historian or the philosopher, a great storyteller. And one of the things that I have heard mentioned about this particular trait is that because it's a seeker, people with this particular flavor in their design often feel like they're there to find something, but they're not. Because it doesn't matter how much you're stimulated or how stimulating your storytelling is, it's not a solution, it's not an answer. You haven't actually found anything. It's just about inspiration, and it can be so transformative in people's lives, especially when you're invited to share your stories, to share your stimulating way of telling a story. So when we're looking at this from a business perspective, one of the things we could consider here is what about your history, what about the past in your business can be translated into some type of stimulating telling of a story that inspires your staff, inspires your clients, inspires your team to believe in whatever you're doing within your company. It can also be used to help teach a particular concept. So it's this real rich weaving of the history, of the past, to create this amazing story that can then teach people. So if you're bringing new people on board into your team or into your business, you could use this to really create an amazing story to be told, even considering perhaps making a video about your history of your business, about the past, and how can that be shared in an inspiring and stimulating way that can either motivate people to become part of what you're doing, or to teach something about how you do your particular job, or how you sell your product or why you sell your particular product. So it's a great time to be able to reflect on the past and then weave that into this amazing story that can create that inspiration within your team. When we think about stories, and because it's about the past and because it's about these emotional like undertones or overtones, plus it's very selective and subjective, we need to evaluate within the workplace setting, are there any stories floating around that are very disempowering, that are really telling one side of the story and it's not necessarily the truth, and can be particularly damaging or harmful to the reputation of your business or to the reputation of particular staff members. This is where people can be ostracized, where they can come to this place of no longer believing in the particular workplace because they've taken on a story that's floating around as being truth. What I'd encourage you to pay attention to this week is, are you feeling this pressure to be stimulated or to stimulate others? Do you find yourself reflecting on the past and remembering things and then coming up with inspiring stories to explain or to share what you have experienced in your life? I would also encourage you to look at the stories that are being told in the world around you. Are these empowering stories? Are they disempowering? Are you allowing yourself to be moved into action based on the stories that are floating around? Or are you trusting in your decision-making strategy to ensure that you're aligned to what is authentically for you in this life? These stories that are floating around, they could also be floating around just inside our own heads, within our own minds. What stories are you telling yourself? Are they true? Are they empowering or disempowering? Is it time to let go of some of the stories that you have potentially been holding on to for a period of time, but they're no longer serving you? And perhaps this week is a great time to recognize them and then to release them if they're no longer part of aligning you to your design and to a life that is free-flowing and a life of ease, the life that you deserve. There can be some really great lessons and some inspiring stories that can come out this week. And so just see, what lessons are you learning? What lessons are you delivering this week? And remember that no matter how much you're stimulated or how much you're stimulating others, it's all about the journey and the lesson. And it's not about taking action from this place. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy the story, hold on to what serves you and let go of what does not. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. If you have any comments or stories, this week is a great week for us to hear about all the stories. So if you have any to share, please do so. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that each week when I release one of these videos, you know that it's coming out, and you just then can have the awareness and pay attention to the background frequency and the energy and just see how it is showing up for you in your life. Until then, I hope you have an amazing week. Bye for now and see you soon.